Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Mel and I'm the host of this channel. It's been about 2 weeks now since Crunchyroll has officially announced that they are folding in all of Funimation's content onto their platform. So the big question is, what does that mean for everybody else? For those of you who may not know, Sony bought Crunchyroll, I want to say back at the end of 2020. The acquisition finalized like in the middle of 2021, and there was obviously some announcements of how they want to be able to put fans first with this acquisition. True to their word, they're now blending Funimation's content into Crunchyroll, and now I have a new existential crisis where my list that was already long has gotten way longer. I really don't have enough time in the world now to watch all of the content that I already had listed on Crunchyroll, and I think I've added about a minimum of 10 new animes to my list since all the new content on Funimation has appeared on Crunchyroll. And I think the thing is that this is just the beginning of it. I think there's still some content that hasn't transitioned fully to Crunchyroll yet, so we'll see. Funimation has announced that people should cancel their subscriptions if they can and start using Crunchyroll. So I think the idea is that Funimation will disappear at some point, and they're allowing users who already have Funimation subscriptions to get like 60 days free of Crunchyroll. I believe they sent a link to their users to benefit from this special offer. So if you're a Funimation subscriber, please check your emails so that you can, take advantage of 60 days of free Crunchyroll. As for what this means for Funimation, like when they will end the service or like bring down the platform, there hasn't been an announcement yet. However, that aside, I felt like this would be actually a really good opportunity to do a mini education lesson on where you could actually watch anime aside from the big old giant Crunchyroll now. Now that I've mentioned that a lot of changes are coming to Crunchyroll and Funimation, there are actually a lot of other platforms that will also be affected due to this congregation, like merge of platforms. But before I get to that, I'm gonna just list a couple of other sites and apps or areas you can watch anime. The first one on the list that I have is Adult Swim. Adult Swim has actually been around for a lot longer before all of these other streaming platforms, I want to say since the 90s, and it actually lives on Cartoon Network. But if you're looking to actually watch outside of like normal cable viewing hours, because I don't know about you, but I don't have the energy sometimes to stay up until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning now to watch like My Hero Academia or whatever is still airing on Adult Swim. So they definitely have a website that you can go to, but the thing is that you need to have a cable subscription in order for you to watch Adult Swim. And Adult Swim usually has a ton of like current running anime, not really a lot of older anime, and usually it's just mainstream anime. It's one that's really popular and well known, especially if you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s watching anime. It was kind of your go-to before the likes of Netflix, Hulu, Funimation, and Crunchyroll made their appearance on the scene. Another well-known streamer, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is not necessarily known for its anime, but it does have some very exclusive animes on there like Vineland Saga and Watakoi. You'll find like a very small grouping that's really niche that you can't find anywhere else. So this is a great place to also watch anime if you especially already have an Amazon Prime subscription so that you can get your packages within 2 days. So I would say take advantage of that. Like I said, the collection isn't wide, but they do have some very cute, interesting, and I would say almost like more adult animes on Amazon Prime that you may not be able to find on other platforms. And again, that requires a subscription, so it's not like you can watch any of the anime on there for free. A platform that you can watch anime for free on is Anime Planet. Anime Planet, actually I don't even know how well known it is. Considering it may be a website only type of platform, it doesn't really have an app that you could accessed on your smart TV or on your gaming console. But from what I see and what I understand, it is a completely free platform that has a lot of mainstream content, and it's not so mainstream content. The catch is obviously that it's all ad supported, so you have to watch ads in the beginning and ends of the video and in between. There are other platforms that have similar free ad supported models, but this is definitely one of them. The other catch to it is that with Anime Planet, you have to kind of like wait to see the episode. So let's say an episode launches this Saturday, but like you won't get access to it the Saturday that it dropped in like Japan or on other platforms. Instead, you'll probably have to wait either a week or more than a few weeks in order for Anime Planet to actually access the content. But if you don't have money to spend on additional subscriptions, because God knows the subscription wars is very real and there's not enough money to go around now. So if you don't have enough money to buy any of the other subscriptions on this list, Anime Planet is really great, and honestly, it's got a great user experience, so I highly suggest that you check that out. Circling back to the main reason why this video is happening, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has one of the largest anime libraries, I feel like, on the earth. They're well known for subbed animes, but now that Funimation's content is getting folded into Crunchyroll's platform, it now means that there's going to be all of the dubbed animes that Funimation specializes in folded into Crunchyroll's platform. So I think that sub and dubbed viewers can feel satisfied subscribing to this platform. Crunchyroll also has an ad-supported free model. So if, again, it's like Anime Planet, if you want to like not pay for the service, there are ads in between and in the beginning of episodes, and there is about a week delay in order for you to see some of the newest like same day launched in Japan episodes. Crunchyroll's interface is also really nice, very easy to use. I've actually always preferred it to Funimation's. My only thing is that they don't have an app for smart TVs, which kind of bugs me, so I always have to use my gaming console. But what's great is that they finally launched a Crunchyroll app on the Nintendo Switch, which I own, so it's actually really convenient now. Now I can watch on my Switch on the go, which actually might not make as much sense because you can watch on your phone too. But now that Crunchyroll and Funimation is like merging platforms, and now that Sony owns both Crunchyroll and Funimation, that means some of the partnerships that Funimation has had in the past may cease to exist. These platforms and partnerships in question are Hulu. As for those of you who may not know, all of the animation or most of the animation that exists on Hulu is due to the partnership they have with Sony. Sony owns Crunchyroll and Funimation. The reason that Sony was able to buy Crunchyroll and say like, hey, you know, we're not monopolizing anime is because you have the likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime and all of these other streaming platforms that have their own studios producing their own anime content now. In order for them to compete in the anime industry, they thought the only way to do this was to own both Crunchyroll and Funimation combined and merge platforms. Right. So now what does that mean for everyone else? Previously, Crunchyroll was owned by Warner Media, and all of this knowledge comes from the fact that I'm kind of a media buff to some extent. So Warner Media used to own Crunchyroll. Now that Crunchyroll no longer owns Warner Media, all of the Crunchyroll content that currently exists on HBO Max may also be going away. We don't know when yet, but HBO Max has started to reorganize their platform, like to kind of shift the anime content to a different area. In the past, it used to exist in an area where it was called Crunchyroll Collection. Now that that category has been removed and all anime has been moved to the international section now. Strong signs that they may not be able to keep any of the content. HBO Max does have, I believe, exclusive rights. I'm not entirely sure on this, but they have all of the Studio Ghibli movies on there, which is like an anime category of its own. But aside from that, the current existing Crunchyroll anime on HBO Max likely may go away by the end of 2022 or early 2023. I believe it will take some time for Funimation's content to totally appear on Crunchyroll's platform and to get Funimation users to either transition fully to Crunchyroll or completely cancel their Funimation subscription and decide to use something else. And one more thing. Verve, I think it's called Verve, it's VRV, is a platform owned in conjunction with Warner Media and Sony. But again, now that Sony owns Crunchyroll, which is, I believe, a good portion of the anime content on there, like there's Cartoon Network stuff and like Boomerang stuff on there too, but I believe that once that goes away, the platform in question of Verve is also like debatable as to whether it will exist in the future. I think this all depends, especially considering the way that Sony has been talking about this merger between Crunchyroll and Funimation is to be more competitive in this space. I can't imagine that they'd like to keep a lot of the partnerships with some of these platforms, Hulu, HBO Max, and Verve. So if you currently have these subscriptions solely for the anime, I would start testing the waters on some additional options because I don't know how much longer they'll actually be there for. And now that we've gotten the elephant out of the room, next on the list is HIDIVE. HIDIVE is actually a pretty niche platform that tends to have a lot of uncensored anime. Anime can be extremely censored for some more mature content like Tokyo Ghoul. It's very gruesome, and there are areas within the anime where they kind of blur some of the like eatings of other people and lots of blood. It's just so gruesome to the extent that they've had to like blur imagery. So HIDIVE is known for its uncensorship and for non-mainstream animes. I also took a peek at the catalog, and some of the animes a little bit older, probably stuff that you'd see in the 90s. So if that's your cup of tea and it's in line with your interests, HIDIVE is a platform that you should check out. And just so that you can understand how intense the anime competition is getting now that, you know, it's become mainstream. Again, I don't know if it's really mainstream, but it feels mainstream at this point. Now that it's kind of mainstream, you've got HIDIVE that used to kind of be independently owned, has now been bought by AMC Networks. AMC Networks is well known for creating shows like The Walking Dead. So now that AMC owns a pie in the anime universe, this gives you an idea as to how I think intense this whole like anime wars, ownership, content creation will get probably in the next few years. Sony / Crunchyroll and Funimation's biggest competitor could potentially be Netflix. Netflix creates a lot of their own animes now. A good portion of their collection is Netflix-produced animes, and they also have a lot of mainstream anime on their platform. I don't know what else to say about that, but they have a lot of exclusive content that's actually really well produced, very funny. In the very beginning, some of them were bad when they first started creating their own animes, but here we are today, and they've got some actually pretty amazing anime that I've been watching more and more frequently, to the point that I didn't think that Netflix would be a go-to place for new anime for me. Usually I just watch on Hulu or Crunchyroll, but Netflix is starting to be a prominent player in my life and starting to hold a decent share of my viewership in regards to anime. And last on the list, but definitely not least, Tubi TV. I believe Tubi TV is owned by Fox, but perhaps it's owned by Disney now, since Disney bought a portion of Fox. I don't really know. It's kind of questionable. As you can tell, the TV media streaming universe, especially here in the United States, is really convoluted. There's a lot of people that own a lot of people that own a lot of people. But Tubi TV is another free platform, so if you're looking for free and it's for you, then Tubi TV is what you're looking for. Tubi TV has an app. You can also use it on your TV, and it's completely free. You could stream a lot of content on there. You You can stream Naruto and Bleach, some of the really well-known ones. You can actually stream some older school ones that may not be as mainstream, like Blood Plus. So they've got a nice variety, and the list is very long. From what I understand though, Tubi TV is free because it's ad-supported. However, when I watched an episode of Bleach on there, I didn't encounter any ads, so I'd be curious as to what other people's experiences are while engaging with the platform. While this video may not be in line with a lot of the content that I've been creating recently, I thought that the Crunchyroll news was important enough that we could talk about different platforms in which anime exists. Especially if you're just trying to get into anime. I think where to find anime is probably the most important part if you're trying to watch anime. Obviously, most people's first engagement with anime is on more mainstream platforms that have other mainstream non-anime content like Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Netflix, but this is also for your knowledge and awareness to know that there's more to anime platforms than just Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and even Crunchyroll if you already knew about Crunchyroll. So I hope that this was informational. I'm really excited to see where this goes for Crunchyroll and Funimation. I'm hoping that they don't hike their prices, cause you know the streaming services are getting intense now. But I'm just really excited, and now I have to figure out how I'm going to watch all the existing anime on my list, plus the Funimation content that was just added. Well, that's gonna do it for me, everyone. I am your host, Mel. This is Annie Mel, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye!